I think we'll hang out right here. Does this work? But you got to come up here because we're doing it together. All right. So Charlie and I last night at the speaker dinner bumped into each other. If we were more organized, we would be showing you a number of GitHub issues around ideas around Python, right? But we're not that organized. So instead, Charlie and I sat with my purple pen, I love the purple pen, and we marked up a whole bunch of pieces of paper about some of the challenges that we see in building algorithms for OpenSearch and the challenges in current technologies like JSON. And I think we both agreed that we need to come up with better ways of expressing complex logic in the language of what I think the future of OpenSearch community is, which is the AI and machine learning people who generally aren't in this room, but we want them to be in this room because we want OpenSearch to be the center of these next generation applications. So that's my little pitch. I don't know, Charlie, you want to go from there?
Yeah, actually, I raised those two GitHubs since last OpenSearchCon, North America.
Yeah, can you describe them? Maybe
yeah.
So people know.
Yeah, so considering that Python is growing in a super fast speed and the community, the ecosystem is super large, and now I think OpenSearch will always be complained as a Java-only community, which is definitely not good for us, bringing super large anxiety to the community. Okay, maybe just to me, I don't know. And my first topic is just about Eric's very famous speaking that painless is painful, right? No one wants to use painless. So what is the best alternative? Definitely Python, right? Actually, let's go back to 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. Actually, Elasticsearch is supporting Python. But at that time, it's really huge, really hard to compile, and they deprecated that. And now, we can still pick that back with even more powerful tool. The one thing is we have a JVM embedded Python environment called GraalPy. So which means we don't need our Python execution engine in another process. We don't need to build pipelines. It is embedded in the JVM, so we can just do everything. All the Python objects can be accessed by Java. That would be really good, and it naturally can be integrated with painless. So that's our proposal. I think we have the one issue there. And another thing is about front end. As you know, if we want to execute Python, a very agile Python script on the UI, the best way is not to send messages to the back end and do a lot of things, waiting for even minutes to get the result. The best one is, okay, I just execute these things in the browser. So that's another proposal, because now we have WebAssembly, right? WebAssembly. WebAssembly is a super powerful tool which can execute anything in your browser.
Can I jump in? So Jupyter Lite, right, which you're kind of working your way towards, it is phenomenal. I've been using it for a couple of years now, and it is the entire stack of Python, including all of your NumPy and Pandas and all of that, and it runs in your browser. Sure, it takes about 20, 30 seconds to spin up, but come on, we're starting an entire Python from scratch in your browser, and it seems to work, right? It's not flaky. Yes, it has a couple of limitations, but it's really maturing. And it lowers the barrier. I don't have to do pip install or Anaconda or any of the Python 2, Python 3. It's right there, and it's really effective. So it's worked out really well. And I think that it gives us an entire experience, user experience, that potentially would be a great fit in OpenSearch without us having to build it, maintain it, extend it. And it's the tool that all the AI and ML people are already using day to day, so it's very comfortable to them.
So actually, we have some kind of study that for observability people, more and more such kind of engineers, they just want to use notebook with Python to locate their root cause by invocating some APIs and also doing some aggregations to pour data from OpenSearch and to do the analytics with data frame, right? So to implement such requirement, we can definitely use Jupyter Lite in your browser, and you can just call some easy access API to grab data from OpenSearch with like PPL or SQL, and naturally it will be translated into data frame, and you can freely just use pandas to fulfill such requirement for those younger growth people, because nowadays in university your first language is definitely not a C++, not a basic Fortran. That's in the old time, right? Now it's Python is the only one. So to access a Python word, we definitely need to move the first step.
Yep. So I think that's kind of our pitch. Questions or anything from the crowd?
So I worked on a project with OpenSearch and Python, and we just used the Python API client. So I guess I'm not understanding really. I kind of understand, but I don't think I'm totally understanding the value proposition.
So in your project, using OpenSearch's Python client, right, that's great, but that's outside of, that's in your client labor, right? That's in your middle tier or whatever, right? And where we want to see is Python on the server side, right? I can use JSON to describe anything, but maybe I want to write some Python code. I don't want to use painless. I want to say, here is a function. When I'm doing some text analysis, when I am doing a search pipeline, when I am doing, well, all the different things that we do, I would rather express myself in Python than in an esoteric JSON syntax that is, I don't really understand. SQL also, but SQL struggles with if statements, right? What, we're going to do cursors again, right? And stored procedures? I mean, yeah, kind of, but we need better ways of doing it. Python, I think, is the one we're excited about, but you could imagine JavaScript, you could imagine, I don't know, Elixir, right? There are plenty of other sort of scripty languages. Python, though, has that mind share and that ecosystem, and that's the, we want to skate to where the puck is, right, or will be, and that's still going to be Python for the next few years, right? So.
Who was first?
I think it was Gene, but go right.
All right, so polyglot ecosystems. We got Java as our fundamental language for OpenSearch, and then there's the desire to pull in other things. We have options for that. 10 years ago, there was something called Jython, which was a Java-based Python interpreter, which gives you the the Python 2.x syntax, 2.7 syntax, and you can do a lot of stuff there. And that's nice, it's easy to embed. Unfortunately, that project's no longer maintained and never jumped towards the ability to load native libraries. Then there's the CPython Java CPP presets project. Samuel Audet and I forget who the company was that he was with, but ultimately it's a Java binding using JNA to talk to the Python interpreter. Good, but kind of difficult to set up, and you really have to write all of your code to integrate with the CPython interpreter from Java land. And going back and forth between the two is very difficult. If we look at other options out there, Spark is probably the most advanced on this, using PySpark, which under the covers is actually using Py4j as the layer to translate between these two. And in that situation, you actually have a Python interpreter that's up and running with socket communication to and from it as a model, so it's kind of client-server-esque. And I guess the kind of question is, like, what's the best option? Having a native Python interpreter that you can use NumPy or pandas and all that stuff is great.
I think my answer is I don't care. That's like an engineering challenge for smart people to do engineering, so I'm probably not the right person. I just want it to work.
Right. We are open for contribution. Native Python engine access, GrowPy, even WebAssembly, anything anyone want to contribute, we are welcome, right?
Having said that, I think there's two ways we get Python in. One is a basic, narrow, you get Python syntax for limited capability a la painless, but it's at least a syntax people have heard of, Python, and it's very hedged in, but at least it gives me some things, and we pick and point it, right? The other way would be full, and then I think that's at one end. The other end is full-on Python with all of its supporting ecosystem. That's the big bang approach. That's the risky one, but is probably the big win throughout.
You still have to choose your integration points. Are you going to expose it for tokenization? Are you going to expose it for relevancy? Are you going to expose it for ingest pipelines?
So I would suggest that whether it's Python or some other language, I think most developers are language agnostic enough to understand the basic concepts of programming in general. I think the only thing that makes Painless or Mustache or whatever these other like weird JavaScript syntaxes from being useful is that they're very poorly documented. And the only thing that makes a programming language good or something self-explaining is that they're well documented and that there's plenty of examples out there. So I think the argument for Python, you could make a very good one, but anyone hoping to implement that kind of thing probably just does not care as long as there's good documentation and stuff behind it.
All right. I think my answer that shoots your argument in the head, ChatGPT does not know about Mustache or any of that, and ChatGPT really knows a lot about Python, right? So it's pretty easy for me to ask ChatGPT, do something cool in Python, and I get some amazing code back because the base is so deep.
Just a implementation question on that. With WebAssembly, does that imply then that you need a browser interaction and that would be a feature strictly for like OpenSearch dashboards, or is there something else here? Thank you.
So another thing that holds people back from using scripts is the latency. So involving a script somewhere in, say, the analysis chain, if it's not fast, then it just, nobody's going to use it, right? And that's the problem with Painless too. Yes, there's like, it compiles scripts and.
My counter to that, and then we'll wrap up. So I think my counter to that is we have this obsession about query time, but in the world that is coming, 10 times the queries are going to be issued by robots than by people. And those robots don't really care if it takes 10 seconds or 20 seconds to do a query. But those robots are doing all the heavy lifting, right? And they're probably issuing queries. They're probably not the same algorithm as what a human does, right? We're going to be building different algorithms. Python seems to be fast enough for plenty of people. We just have to get maybe a little better integration. But I think that there are a ton of places where you could take that Python code, reinterpret it, do your lower level, generate something that is, much lower level. Today we have no option for that. All right.
Thank you.